I added moderate mode for both of you.
Okay.
Will you be sharing, Saheed?
No, you can go for. Can you go first?
Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Let, yeah.
Um, am I sharing?
We can't see your screen yet. At least I can't see.
Okay. Hold on. Uh, give me a few seconds. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Um, Hello everyone. My name is Adewumi Saheed. I will be taking you to the second week of our presentation, Journey to Associates. Uh, Prepare for your associate cloud journey, cloud engineer journey. So today we are talking about setting up a cloud solution environment. So before we go forward, I would like to do some recap of I don't know. Maybe we should. Can we able to ask some question about the last? If there's any question or any challenges before we proceed for this section. Um, are you with me?
Yeah, yeah. Let me see if there is anything in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. If there's any question, so that we can address it before taking care of today section.
Mm,
Don't think there is. How many people were able to do their lab? I mean, do some practice on the last meeting? Someone is sending a request. Okay. So in the
John sent request, but I answered him that he can find everything at Discord channel.
okay. So in the absence of no question, we can proceed for today's section actually. So what we are going to be doing is let me share. So the recap for the last section we had, we talked about uh, how you can plan your cloud associate engineering journey. Tools, material, we have lab, we have quiz whereby you can able to text your what you have learned so far. So, but for today, we are going to be talking about the setting up our cloud environment. So yeah, today we have I, Saeed, and my colleagues. So you'll be the second person to be presenting after mine. So yeah, we have. So I think this is about the organizer is the GDG, which Google Developer Group. And here we are talking, the program offers, this is about the society, I mean about the community. And today we are going to be focusing on the cloud environment. So, and initially, maybe by the end of this program, we'll be talking about the diagnostic question because of people that don't have the basic idea of what it is. So I will just be taking you through about the theoretical aspect. So setting up of a cyber store cloud environment. As a cloud engineer, your primary assignment is plan on how to set up your cloud environment for your workspace or for your organization you are working with. So here we are give an example. We call it Simbat Superstore, which your role in setting up the cloud project and account and managing the billing configuration. So before we get started, as a cloud solution, as a cloud engineer, any project you are setting up, you have to consider your the billing management. You have to make sure you get the budget before you start the configuration, start the work on the cloud provider platform. So here we have the architecture. So we have an hierarchy for the cyber superstore whereby we have the organization level. Organization level is the name of the organization. We have the folder. Folder, we can make it as a department. So we have I can, instead of calling it folder, you can name it as a department because we have, as you can see here, we have operation department. We can call it a folder. As a cloud engineer, we call it a folder, but as a layman, you can call it like a department. So we have an organization level whereby the organization say we have the folder level, which almost stand for the department. So we have sales and marketing, we have commerce, we have logistic, we have transportation, we have B2B supply chain. So as a cloud engineer, you too can do the same thing for your projects, whereby you have to structure the organization and the department. So this make sure your project is well structured and well configured, and there will not be mix up whenever you are trying to manage each project. So on the project level, we have each environment. Like for instance, we have B2B supply chain app, whereby we have a development environment. Dev is development, B2B for dev, we have B2B for staging, we have B2B for production. So these we are giving access for developer during the testing environment, whereby they are developing, you can be testing. This is for whenever you are deploying and you are rolling out, rolling back. This is for staging. And productions, the app that is already in the market, people are you start using it. I mean, user they have data working on using this platform. So we have the project level. You are expected to set up all these as a cloud engineer. So moving forward, so before we can go forward, we have talked about the identity and the access role. So for this, we have to talk about what can they do and on which resources they can they operate. So let's say for instance, you are as a cloud engineer, we have different people you are working with. You have data analysts, you have cloud architect, you have network engineer. You have to identify each individual that have access to your project here, right? So before you can do that, you have to be able to identify who. So here for who we have data analysts. For what can they do? View data and run queries. So this is the role of this what's it called these as users. So anybody that is having access to your resources on the cloud, you have to be able to identify it. And on which resources do they have access to? So they have access to the BigQuery data set. So BigQuery, for the people that are new to the cloud, BigQuery is a platform whereby you are able to run your data and do some it's a tools for the data analysis. So as a data analysis, we are giving access to this BigQuery. So moving forward, we have before you can do that, you have to set up your product. So as you are setting up, giving access to everyone, I mean the co-worker, you have to make sure you are doing the monitoring part, which is observability. So you are expected to be able to monitor what is going on your platform. And you can see from here we have the cloud monitoring box whereby you can be able to monitor and can monitor this. So this we are able to scope projects and monitor projects. These are the production whereby they are very, very important. So you are expected to be monitoring it. But this is where you are can able to see any changes and roll back on your project in case of any issues. Yeah, we have the billing account. So this is the billing account. So as I've said earlier, we talk about the organization, we talk about organization level, which is the organization itself, and we have the folder which I almost call department. So we have the operation, we have the B2B. So the operation and B2B, you can attach an account with this organization. And how do you do that is you can be able to create another department, call it finance, and create a access. We have CFO, Chief Finance Officer, we have operational billing account, sales billing account, logistic billing account. So each department has the responsibility of managing their billing. So here you can see here we have the operational, and this will be responsible for the payment of these bills. And in for the IAM, whereby you are expected to give the only the access of billing operation, you are not expected to assign the development or the production access to this particular account, this particular users, just the billing, the payment part of the B2B platform project, sorry, B2B project level. So you can see here the billing account is going to be responsible for the payment of this account alone. So that's that on attaching the billing to the project. So moving forward, we have some diagnostic question we are going to be review on the project level. On the lab part, so all this we are going to answer it, address it before the end of this uh, certification journey. Some of it you have to have idea of it before we can approach it. So here we have the setting up of cloud projects and manage the billing configuration. And here the activities of this after we start the lab, we are going to discuss on creating of resources hierarchy, applying organization policy. So our organization policy is like maybe we have some certain rules in organization. As a cloud engineer, you're expected to implement this policy on each account or each users. So granting members IAM role within a project. So you have to identify and authorize the each users on your project. So as a members, you have to know who and who have access to your project and what are they doing. So yeah, we have the ability to enable the API within the project. So as a cloud engineer, you are enabled API within the project. On our last meeting, we talked about how you can enable your services using the API. So here, before you can start using any project, you are expected to enable the API and set up a cloud observability, whereby they can able to assess who and who, monitoring who and who access the infrastructure, who have access to the resources on your cloud project. So assessing the quotation and the request increase. So assessing the quotas whereby there are some situations whereby the request we have high number of requests or scale up or scale down. As a cloud engineer, you are expected to be able to assess this and increase so that the user can have access to your infrastructure. So I will not able to uh, process this for now. During the or after the lab, we can able to address these questions. So I think my colleagues can start from here.
Yeah, thanks, Saheed. Let me quickly share my screen.
All right.
Let me. Okay, can you see the IAM screen?
Uh,
The slide.
Not now, but you have presenter mode, so you can share
Not
your
yet.
screen.
How
Not
about now?
not now.
Okay, let me share again.
Okay, it's coming up. Yeah.
Okay, it's coming up. Okay.
So I can see it actually. Can proceed.
Okay. Uh, so the whole screen, you can see the slides, right? Or is it
Yeah.
this? Okay.
Just right.
Okay. So yeah, as my colleague covered a couple of things, we did see about how we can organize the projects or what is the hierarchy of, when it comes to spinning up a resource within a Google Cloud. The way that we saw the hierarchy starts from the org level until down to the resources. And the question might come like why we need this kind of hierarchy. As we rightly mentioned, because of having multiple environments when you work in real time dev, UAT, and prod, it is necessary for you to manage those resources accordingly. If you are doing some testing in dev and it should not impact something that is running in production, and that is one of the main reason why Google has categorized the resources on the basis of folders, and on the basis of project, and it is not mandatory to have folders, and it depends on like what is your requirement. If you really want to categorize them as an environment, and it makes sense to split them across folders. And not just that, as we saw, in order to apply policies or in order to apply IAM bindings, it is pretty easy to apply on the folder level rather than you going and applying on each and every individual, you know, um, user level. So that is also one of the good thing that I would say, like in terms of applying IAM policies also, it's quite useful. This particular folder structure is quite useful. So we'll start with IAM today and we'll quickly see what we have. So we have a couple of questions. Before going through these questions, I'll quickly show the Google Cloud Console on about like how things are there in terms of IAM and where you can find the IAM tab, and how you can find out the projects within the Google Cloud Console. And I think later stage we can cover the questions. So I'm just skipping the questions for now. So if you could see this slide, so the top one is the org, wherein you have the organization, and underneath that you have multiple project. You can have a project on bookshelf, or it can be a retail project, or it can be you know, I would say like a travel project or something, which are different when it comes to each other. And you are splitting them by creating them each as an individual project. And every project has a unique project ID assigned automatically. And that's how it is unique across when compared to the other projects. And if you see down to the project, the first project bookshelf has a couple of Google Cloud resources like Compute Engine, App Engine, Cloud Storage. But the second one just has cloud storage. So the reason is like it's not necessary to have them same. It depends on what is your project need and requirement, and what kind of resources that you need to create as part of that project. So you create on the basis of your requirement. So that's the reason the resources might differ. And then each resources have their own quotas. And what is quota is like, let's say you have a compute engine, and you want to spin up a E2 machine, and you are setting up the compute storage for a particular, I would say, GBs of storage. But if you are not having the quota, and if in case, if it is growing up, and if it is trying to consume, if it is a dynamic storage trying to consume more and more, and you might end up paying a hefty bill if you don't control them on quota level. So that's one of the reason why quota is really important. You can restrict your resources, or whatever in terms of instances. You can control them all your Google Cloud resources based on the quotas. So that is one which help you to not overburn your cloud cost. So that is what we saw about what is quota and other things. So again, we'll go through the lab and then pitch into these questions. So what actually they're saying in this question is about is they're talking about what Google Cloud project attributes can be changed. So we are going to see that. So one is project ID, project name, project number, and project category. I'll show them in the Google Cloud console, and later in point we can comment.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, yes, Saheed.
I think someone's having an issue with the sound. I don't know. Maybe.
No, on my side, everything perfect. Saheed, what do you think? Did you get any technical issues with sound today? So, Santosh, I think we can continue. So,
Sure.
everything okay? Yes, don't
Sure.
worry.
Okay.
Yes,
Uh,
sound is great.
okay. Thank you. So this is next the another pictorial view about how they have created folders, not just one level of folders, but you can see three level of folders because there might be subcategory here. How if you could see there is department wise uh, folders. Within the department there are different teams, and within the teams there are different products, and each products have their own project. So what I'm trying to emphasize here, the folders can also be nested and sub-classified on the basis of the need or on the basis of the requirement. But the resources are very specific to uh, the project that you create. So that's what they're trying to say. The level of hierarchy provides you trust and boundaries and also helps you to isolate your resources and group your resources accordingly to the organization structure or your requirement. Yeah, so this again another question which we will take it. So yeah, this is about different types of roles. So when it comes to IAM roles, there are three categories that you need to concentrate about. So one is basic, then predefined, and custom. So when they say basic, basic by the name itself, you can say that this is a kind of a very broad role. I would say, let's say if you create a Google Cloud project, and if you could go and see if you own that project, you are the owner of the project, which is a very broad role. And being the owner of a project, you can do everything, each and everything you can do because you're the owner of the project. Or let's say you have another team member who is an editor or a viewer of this project. So which is again a broader role or a basic role. So what's the point of having multiple types? We can just survive with basic roles. That is the question that usually we think. But the problem is giving this kind of a broader role to anyone apart from the person who really need it might potentially have some impact if knowingly or unknowingly they you know do some mistake like deleting a project or deleting a Google Cloud storage bucket. It might lead to a huge loss of data or huge loss of the whole resources. So that's the reason why we need to have a predefined roles wherein you can granularly access the roles, specifically what is needed for them. That way it is easy for them to just do what is assigned to them rather than having a broader role. So the next one is like custom roles, which is again a kind of a granular access, but to a user specified list of permissions here, because when you say about roles, roles are nothing but set of permissions. So let's say you have a role specific to Google Cloud Storage, the permissions might be to delete the storage bucket or to list the storage bucket or to create the storage bucket. These are the permissions. So end of the day, the roles are nothing but this set of permissions. So when it comes to custom, you specifically you pick the permissions out of all the permissions that are available, and you create your own custom role, because it's not necessary that the predefined roles, you know might be there for each and every scenario, because in your scenario you might need to pick and choose some of the roles, and you need to create sorry, you might need to pick and choose some of the permissions, and you need to create your own role as per your need, which is not there as part of Google's predefined roles. So that's where you need this option. You need to customize, and you need to have a customized role for your particular requirement. And you're going to pick the permissions and assign to them. And this custom role is what is going to you are going to use on the basis of your need. So that's the main category. So whenever you're dealing with roles, just check which category does it fall. Is it a basic, predefined, or custom? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So there are a couple of you know skill badges, as we kept on saying from the day one of the course. So here, if you see, the skill badges that they are highlighting is to implement load balancing on Compute Engine and set up dev environment on Google Cloud. And on the left hand side, if you see, there are some courses as well, which talks about fundamentals of Google Cloud, including the core infra. Then architecting with Google Cloud Compute Engine, which mainly focuses on the identity and access management. And the second one, if you could see, which is again a course, which is essential Google Cloud Infrastructure Core Services. And again, the module one of this course will focus on IAM. So make sure that you cover all these courses. On top of that, you also cover and try to get the skill badge and share it across your social media and take some motivation out of it. And this courses and this skill badge is all focusing mainly focusing on the I mean to say the modules, I would say, specifically the modules within the skill badges, as mentioned here, M2, M4, and M1, will focus on the resources that what we saw about the project folders and couple of other things, billing, and the IAM, the role bindings or the different types of IAM roles. All this can be covered in this particular courses. And on the right hand side, where you see the documentation part, as we said from the beginning of the course, that the golden source of um, Google Cloud is the Google Cloud's own documentation, which is getting updated very frequently. And you might feel overwhelming whenever you look at the documentation, because it is quite vast and it is too detailed as well. But to be honest, like, it might be overwhelming, but once you read it and keep on reading it whenever you have a situation to refer something, over a period of time you get used to it. And with just documentation you can do lots of things. And even whenever you implement something which is completely new for you, Google Cloud documentation can help you to solve most of the queries. So have a look at these links, which is mainly for IAM and resource management and all the resource hierarchy that we discussed throughout all the slides, and get a knowledge about how Google has explained in their own documentation about all these concepts. So next is managing billing configurations. So here, mainly what they are trying to focus on is creating one or more billing accounts. So why we need one or more billing accounts? So if it is the case, like, the whole consumption is against a particular I would say founder, or against a particular company, you might need just one billing account, and that should be sufficing your whole need. But if the case is different, you have multiple teams, sorry, multiple orgs or multiple, I would say, scenarios where you need to branch out the billing. Let's say you want to take the billing account of the I would say like dev or prod or again UAT. If you want to, for any reason, if you want to have a specific billing account for each of them, you can still do that by creating multiple billing accounts and attaching them. So that's one of the reasons, but there are multiple use cases as well. Then linking the projects to billing accounts. So in Google Cloud, if you want to spin up a resource, the first and foremost thing is like you need to first have a billing account created. And with this billing account is what you will link the project, and only then Google will allow you to spin up the resources. If you can try this without a billing account, just try to enable API and go to Compute Engine and try to create a Compute Engine Google Cloud resource, and you will see a message popping up like create a billing account. So that's one of the things. So first and foremost thing is should have a billing account if you're trying to deal with the resources. Then establishing billing budgets and alerts. So this is one of the very key part of I would say the whole cloud concept. I would say because the reason why people move from on-prem rather than moving from on-prem, there are situations where they also have hybrid. People why use Google Cloud is like it's quite easy for them to scale up and down, manage resources, and try things easily when compared to stuff that's there in on-prem. So that's the main reason why people use cloud. It's easy for them to scale and easy for them to adopt. But the huge concern is like most of the companies have, have overrun their bills like anything because of not having a proper budget planning or not having proper alerts set against a billing account. So that's one of the major area where we need to focus. That we need to have a budget, or we need to also have a alert on the basis of the budget. Let's say if you have budgeted your dev project for around like 500 euros, and you can set an alert for 300 or 400 euro and also 500 euro, and that way you will know even if you miss out, you will get emails, and by that way you can say that okay, I'm reaching out to my a budget threshold, and that way you can quickly go and check what happened. Uh, is this something that I need to bring down something for a moment to analyze and then see why I'm overrunning my budget or anything that's getting spinned up and running for a long time? Those kind of analysis or diagnosis that you can do if you have a alert. But if you don't have alert, then you can only know when you open your bill or when you get a bill or when you go and check the billing menu in the Google Cloud Console. So that's one key part. Then setting up billing exports. So billing exports is another, I would say useful um, uh, concept. So let's say billing, you want to have a dashboard to view how things are being, you know, split across each and every resources. So one of the ways is like go to billing menu, and he'll show that in console. Go to billing menu and see against each SKU. Um, so SKU is nothing but it's a ID, unique ID, given for each and every resources, not just resources. Let's say you are spinning up compute engine, and within compute engine you need a lot of things. You need RAM, you need storage. There are a lot of things that you need, right? Physically, when you compare. So for each of them, Google has their own SKU ID, SKU ID, and Google builds against the SKU ID. So when you want to visualize your whole billing, you need to drill down until to the SKU ID to take a deep dive to understand which part of the SKU ID charged you, because you can simply say that compute engine took too much of cost, but within compute engine there is storage, there is also RAM, and what kind of family of machine that you were running. So you can further, you know, take a look into understand which family of the machine that you were using, and maybe because of the the machine family that you were using might be quite expensive, and you could have used a different machine family to do the same job. So that level of, if you details, if you need to see, you need to go to the billing section of Google Cloud Console. But there are cases where you want to visualize it in a different tool, let's say the popular tool Tableau or Looker, wherein you want to see your billing in a different graphical representation. Um, and that way, what you can do, you can export your billing reports either to a Tableau or either to Looker or any other visualizing tool. And once it is exported, you can't export directly, but you can export it to BigQuery. And from don't worry what is BigQuery. Just think like BigQuery is an intermediate step that you do to just visualize your whole billing in a different way. So those kind of options are there, and that's one of the reason why you can also use exports. Okay. So again, managing billing configuration, there are these courses. Take a look at these courses and the documentation. And the modules are M2, M6, and M3 respectively, and focus on these things to get a deep dive and understanding about what we discussed about billing so far. Okay. So let me quickly share my screen on the lab part.
Okay, before I think there are some questions here before we go to the lab. I don't know, maybe we want to address it now or after the lab presentation.
Yeah, yeah, we can go ahead, Said. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Can you give us a
Okay,
sample of basic and custom role? Yeah, so John, for the basic one, what I said was the owner or viewer would be one of the great example for basic. And custom, I can show you in custom and the console. I'll show you about how the custom roles will look like.
so I too I want to teach you something. I don't know, maybe I can share my screen before you start your lab. For the people that find it difficult to do the budgeting for their cloud infrastructure, there is a solution Google provide for us as a cloud engineer to use for your calculation, proxy calculation. It was called Cloud Calculator, Google Cloud Calculator, whereby you estimate your project before you start the project or you start initialize your infrastructure. Okay, in a calculator. Yeah. So this really help a beginners because you don't want to incur the cost that your project, I mean your organization can bear. So this really help you as a beginner cloud engineer to do your estimates. No,
I think it's a price calculator, right? Okay, let me
yeah, it's
give it
cloud.
the right name.
And let me share the link. Let me share the link. There's a link there.
Yeah, I think I got
This
it.
is it.
This one, right?
Okay, yeah, I get it. So this is where you can able to pick and have idea of the cost each services and set it up. And you can estimate, you can, but as a cloud engineer, you are advised to use as minimum resources as possible to save you from cost. So, and that is why you are a cloud engineer profession. You have to use the minimum resources, and Google Cloud give room for scalability, whereby you can scale up as your platform required. So you are not expected to use the maximum resources because of your budget. Yeah. So yeah, I'm setting up my cloud compute engine and it cost me 800. So Yeah. So this is
Yeah,
just the platform. You can play with it and see the estimate budget you are trying to set up before you install any before you enable any API or install any project resources on your cloud console. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Sahid. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, this is really useful. Yeah, Sahid mentioned. Um, Make sure that you estimate it, whatever you are trying to use, well in advance, even before getting the surprise bill. It is always good and best practice, I would say, to estimate your budget, and this is something that will give you a rough estimation. That doesn't mean that it's going to be the same. It's going to be somewhere nearby to what this number can be, little bit more or little bit less, but might average out somewhere here. So yeah, so let me pull up the screen to show the. Yeah, so this is one of the lab on the custom roles. So initially I thought of running the labs, but I would say like better I just gave the gist of what has to be done instead of I taking to the labs. But I'll give you overview about how each and every stages will look like, and I'll leave it to you guys to try out the labs in case of any issues that you encounter. You can anyhow reach out to us in Discord channel, because considering the time, um, I'm just I'm trying to focus on what is really needed for you guys to complete the course and the lab, and the focus can be on that. And later, if you need doubts, we will help you out on completing the labs. Yeah. So here they have detailed out everything on the permissions and the custom roles. If you see here, the custom roles, it's like you prepare it. So you are, it's not like it's something it's already there. It can be anything. Let's say I want to create a custom role wherein I want to give a user with just to list a bucket and to create a cloud function. So with just these two, so if you see cloud function, spinning up cloud function is entirely different, and listing a Google Cloud storage bucket is entirely different. They might be into different roles, and you cannot have a common role if there is a scenario where you don't have a common role with just these two permission, and that's where you need a custom role. So hope this answered your question, John. Yeah, let me show you the project folder structure. Yeah, so just on the project folder structure, I'm just sharing it on the free tier account. So that's why you can't see the org name here. So generally it will be the org name. And once you have an org, you'll also be allowed to create folders. Since it is not an org here, not allowed to create folders as well, but at least I can show you the projects. And if you see the project here, and if you take a look here, and if you go to the project manager resources, you can see billing. And if you click on billing, you'll come to know like what billing account it is associated with. So you can take a look at billing account overview and payment overview. And this is what we were trying to focus on. It's like you, one way is you come and keep the eye on your cost, or you take a detailed report. Otherwise, you set budget alerts. And budget alerts, it's like it takes the burden out from you instead of you coming manually and checking. It's easy for you to have alerts and just sit and see if you get any alerts, then you can take an action. As of now, I think I have not spinned up anything, and let me check if I can pull something for past. Yeah, I think I just newly created. I think it's not showing any of these things. That's why. That's okay. So the other one is billing is one of the key thing that we discussed. And if you take a look at IAM, this is another tab. Either you can click on this and go with IAM and admin tab. Within that, you have a lot of things you can manage IAM and you can manage policies, and there are many other details as well. So here, if you see, you can create, and you can also grant access on the basis of, uh, I would say, permissions, which is what we saw. All the details, like you select a person email ID here, and let's say you select them, and you assign them the role. So if you see here, basic, and underneath basic, you have lots of roles: browser, editor, owner, viewer. So similarly, you have a couple of other roles here. And as I said, every role is nothing but it's a set of permissions. So that's where you can see here. And you can also see all the list of roles which is already assigned. And there is a good Google documentation as well, which will tell you about what are all the roles, uh, existing roles that they have. You can also take a look at that as well. Let me show you roles and permissions. Yeah, if you see here, they have given clear understanding about what this particular permission or the role does. Like reader, a permission to read only actions that don't affect state. So like that, you can read out what exactly these particular roles will do, and that way you can also take understanding about what kind of roles that you need to be assigning in order to accomplish a particular task within your project. And as I mentioned, the Google Cloud documentation has much more detailed diagrams here to show you about the things that we discussed. They'll also tell you about how you can play across role against each, like project level, folder level. And yeah, so here also you can take a look. So if you see one like you create a role here, you say create role. Yeah, so if you say a role like custom role, then you come here. Yeah, so here you can pick anything based on your need. So it's the reason it's custom, it is custom to you, and that's why there's no any specific definition that what is there any custom role, an example for a custom role. So once you do, you create this role becomes a custom role with whatever permissions that you assign, and you can start using this role as a normal role. Yeah. So this is one thing which we discuss custom role. Um, yeah, I think I just leave it here instead of detailing too much on other things which is already covered in the self-paced learning. So take a look on those things, the courses and labs that we mentioned. I'll leave it to Saheed now. Once he covers, we will cover the question and answers. Over to you, Saheed.
Okay,
Yeah,
so um, I have some question here. I think can you?
are there any onboarding questionnaire which could be used for projects? Um, Onboarding. I didn't get your question, John. Can you just detail your question? Like, what do you mean by onboarding questionnaire?
And maybe it's good from John's side to clarify what exactly troubles he mentioned, because I understand it that he met troubles exactly at his team, because not all roles accepted to him. So maybe he tried to fix any issues, and maybe our experience will be enough to help him. But we need to know all the situation because some questions it's not clear.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
I
see.
think it should be fine if you take a look at the courses. It will give you about idea about how to onboard any kind of a project. And if you face any issues, please reach out in Discord with a screenshot or error. That
Yes,
way, it should be easy for us.
but please give as much as possible more like outputs because we need any data to analyze to give you answer. Because, for example, if you need examples, uh, feel free to asking about examples. But if you need, because here was question, it wasn't clear for me. Basic and custom role. I was thinking, do you want to discuss? Roles, do you need examples of roles, what exactly do you need, or do you need from real life project examples? It's different.
Mm.
Here we just try to prepare to pass exam, but all of us have our own experience, and of course we can share with you. Feel free to share your problem, your
Yeah.
issues, and we can help you, but we need as much as possible data from your problem to analyze what kind of problems did you get.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
So
yeah, please go on. Yeah. We can just
okay,
cover the
so
questions. Yeah. Yeah.
okay, so for me, I can let me share the basic idea on if you want to onboard as a cloud engineer. The first thing you have to do is you have to do your own before approach any project as a cloud engineer. Have to understand what they have been doing, understand the infrastructure they rely on. Are they on premises? Are they on existing cloud platform? Uh, Try to understand who those and what are they doing. I mean, what are they rendering service for? If you are doing an e-commerce platform, you have to understand who are these target users, the platform, the target device they are using, mobile phone or website. All this information, you have to get it as a cloud engineer. Then have ability to seek what you are trying to do. I mean, you propose solution, have your proposed solution, do your architecture. Then you can now have the full ability to take any project. So you have to reach out to all the stakeholder on your project before approaching them, before you take any project. I don't know, maybe that helps for John. So let me share my screen again and able to um, so I'm by next week I'm expecting 2 or 3 people to share their progress on this Discord so that we can know that we are in line with what we are trying to do. So okay. So yeah, I have different for people that want to learn more can come down to resources and view about uh, the IAM. This is the topic for IAM actually. So let me see if I can able to do something. Okay. So hold on. I'm trying to do the one that is more related to the today's thing. So yeah, I know this is more of like the IAM identity management. So I want to have access to and set up my cloud set up from the marketplace. I think the last time we assess how you can enable a project a resources on enable an API on the resources on cloud. So today, my practical will be focusing on how you can set up and your infrastructure, the resources. So we assume here that you have already have access as a hold on. Oh, not here. Hold on, please. Let me stop sharing. I want to. I'm sharing wrong. Hold on. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Are you with me? So we are doing this. So basically, we are trying to. Hold on. Shoot, Okay, so this IAM start. So what we are trying to do here, we are trying to prepare, explore IAM console with the project level and prepare a cloud storage. A cloud storage is more of like place where we keep different file. It's a storage bucket, and we remove project access and add another cloud permission, storage permission. So to get started, I'm expected to sign in. Click on sign in. Sign in with Google account. If you joined last time, you can use your Google sign in or the account you use to sign into the platform. Oops, expecting it to open. Hold on. Okay, so I've successfully logged in. So I have my account already. So starting the labs. Uh, Before we get started, so this is our task. We have the task to create a bucket and upload the sample file, remove the access, access, and add the storage permission. So basically, we just want to see how the IAM works on each row. So here we have, you will learn assign a row to the second users and remove assign rows with Cloud IAM. So here we have the requirements. So our first task is to uh, sign in. So to sign in, we have to click on Start Lab, just what we did in last uh, class. So I'm clicking. We have 1 hour, 7 minutes, but we are not going to spend. We have to speed that up so that we can do within the time. So here, the first thing I have to do, open a private window. It is very necessary to save it from incurring charges. So click this. So yeah, so I'm copying. We have two user here. So the user one. So here I have to copy the user one, which is this username. Paste. Uh, Move next. So I have to copy the password. So copy the password. So yeah, moving forward, sign in to the console as a second user. Click and open the console in a new browser tab. So we are expected to create another console to log into another account too. So I have to open this again. Open it. So we are standing like a two users. Okay, understand. So we are standing like a two users. The first user and the second users, but they are using the same password. So copy this. Okay, I'm successfully logged into the first account. the second account. Oh, okay. Let me open. After so this section, let me open another browser. So okay, so yeah, sorry. Okay, so here we have copy the link address. Copy the second account. So I'm following the instructions to copy this login to second account. So whereas this is just for a two users accounts and we want to be managing the access to the our resources as a cloud engineer. So yeah. So I have successfully logged into my two accounts, which this and this. Um, so this is the account, this is the organization, this is my account, and okay, successfully logged in. So the view reset user tab. So we have to make sure we're asked to check the correct access if we have the correct access uh, to our account. So this
Saheed, for now we see just that screen, not entire screen.
oh okay.
Can you please share one more time? Lab you want to show?
Unable to see me now.
No,
Can I present?
I understand that you show Google Labs, but we saw just black screen instead of. Can you share
Still?
one more time? Can you please share one more
Okay.
time?
Um, and, how about now? Grant us. Uh, how about now?
So now we see your screen, and now here just your caution. Yes, and now here, yes, Google Cloud, your
Yeah.
dashboard.
Okay. Thank
Thank you.
you. Okay. So yeah, I agree. Like, let me do a recap of what I've been trying to do. Okay. So yeah, have we are asked to our goal here for the assign a role to the second users and remove assign role with associate with cloud IAM. So we have 12 accounts. I open trying to sign in to my Google Cloud console, and the first one I sign in with my the second account. This is second account, and my first account. This is it. So the next steps here were like to sign tax one to set up to log into my console, and I've successfully done that, and I can able to confirm and return to user one, and this is the user one. So going to user one, this is the user one, and I'm expected to navigate to navigation menu and go to IM and grant access. You are now in the IAM, so let me check. To confirm that, I click on this navigation menu. So click on this for the user on IAM. Click on this. Let's see. So when that is coming up, I can able to click on grant access button. So okay. So this is my account. So we have this my account. And let's tally P0. So you can see I have as an editor, owner, viewer, BigQuery, admin, app engine. So I have full as on this project. So I am high here and scroll down and select row. There are three row. So here we are talking, they are discussing about the permission access, whereby we have viewers, the people that can only read only. We have editor, people that can able to create, modify any resources, and also we have the owners. The difference between editor and owner is that the owner can able to manage our billings. So if I click on um, this grant access, grant access, you can see this are the roles whereby you can click on basic, you can able to select this. But as a cloud engineer, this is not advisable, especially if you are trying to work with different users on your platform. So you give minimum access to the any user that you are given that is accessing your project. Give them minimum. Make sure you are giving them minimum access. So this is so broad because you are giving this, you are giving the whole to your the whole Google Cloud project. Same for this, same for this. So we are really going for customize. So I think this is uh, the major point of this tax. So going back, we have we have an explore the editor role. So this first one now was to create to grant explore the editor route. Now switch to the username user to console, navigate to IAM. So coming to the second, if you remember this is the first one. So coming to the second one, I'm coming to clicking on IAM. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So when we are waiting, we are we will say the user to grant the access, switch back to console. So here we are asked to grant this an access. It's coming up. I don't know why the network is slow. Okay. Uh,
Saheed, I guess you have internet
the other users,
connection
but
issue.
this as a viewer can't have that access. So going back here, we are instructed to use the user view as a viewer. So the bottom is gray. If you click, you will need permission for this action. So coming back here, we are told that so it's not even doing anything that's automatically disabled. So you can see you need a permission for this require permission. So this require permission before you can able to do that. So coming back here, in this example of how effective you can do this, switch back to user one for the next steps. So we're switching back to the user one for the next steps, and we are told to create a cloud storage bucket. So cloud storage bucket is where we keep our resources, video, files, any files you keep it on the storage. So clicking here, go to the cloud storage, you can see cloud storage here, click on it, and we are asked to buckets. So clicking on the bucket, still coming up. Okay, buckets. So I'm clicking on the bucket. So I want to create. So here we are expected to create a bucket. So if you get a permission error for creating sign out and sign in again. So here we are asked to click name yourself. So I can create this, like create a bucket. So I want to create a bucket. Click on create bucket. Okay, so here we have it. I can call it any name. Mind you, this is an global unique, so your bucket name has to be unique. I can call it GGT class certification, certification 001. So this and location type. So I was asked to select my location type. So let me see. Continue. So location type multiple region. So let's see multiple region. So what means by this multiple region, meaning like it will have lower latency because anybody can have access to it. So it's on it can easily be accessed. So we have the next. So we have the status. The other one can be by default. So just click on create. So creating, if you want to make, uh, if by the end of this we can revisit this and discuss about the bucket, storage bucket and so on. But for now, you don't need this. Just click on continue and create. So I'm creating this. I'm creating this bucket and I name this confirmed. Okay. So after I create the bucket, so I was on the bucket page. You see upload and bring your browse your browse and upload and to find a file to use any text or HTML and click on three dots and rename it sample.txt and click on rename. So I was asked to create a file and upload it on my cloud storage. So to do that on my main account, you can see this and upload files. So clicking on this, I want to upload. So I will just have to find a file to do that. Let me create a file. Uh, and, okay. Sample.txt. I can call it sample local.txt. Um, so going back, I just created a file locally. So uploading the file. So checking here, download. Okay, this is the file. Select, uploading started. So successfully uploaded. So I've successfully uploaded the file. So going back, I was told to rename the project to rename the file as sample.txt. So I name it local. Now it is on cloud, so I can rename it as sample.txt. Click on this and I can rename. So I click on rename. So yeah, I've done that. So I was asked to check my progress. Let me see if I'm doing something right. Yeah, great. So you can see successfully renamed the project. So I get 20. So now the next action now verify the project access view. So I'm expect to switch back to the user tool, which is this, and click on navigation menu, class storage bucket, and verify the users. So if I click on this and go to the cloud storage and buckets, the buckets, so this is the budget. You can see this is the project I created earlier and the bucket I created earlier. So click on it. You can say I can do the same thing. Click. So I said verify this can see. So user two has the viewer role, which allow the read only, does not affect the state. Um, Remove the project access, switch to user one. So you can see here what they are saying that we have when I click on this, I can rename, I can do anything to this, I can manage this file. So they want me to remove the project access. So to do that, so that user two can not able to do all this, and I was told to switch to this user one and go to the navigation IAM, then click on the pencil in line and remove viewer access for the user two. So okay. So going back here, I'm expect to go back to my IAM, the management user management uh, dashboard. It's coming up. Okay. So here we have this is the user, this is the pencil icon, and I have a trash icon. I was expected to remove this, delete the role, and save. So come here, I also remove the project access view by clicking the trash icon and save. So so now successfully I've revoked the access. Oh sorry, let me try. I've revoked the access. So let me go back here and refresh. Uh, let's see. Yeah, okay, still coming up. So okay, so as mentioned, it can take to 80 seconds before the permission may reflect. So it may take some seconds before it will reflect. So or 2 minutes. So we have to give it time because I can still have access to this. So we have to be refreshing to see if the revoke access has if make effect on my second account. So we can still view. So let us proceed. Let me check my progress. Okay. So it shows that I've done. Okay, you can see now we have access denied. I think it has take effect. So access has been denied. So me, I can't have access to do this anymore. So yeah, let me click on this, remove access. So I score 60 now. So the last steps. So switch back to add the cloud storage permission, copy the username from the lab connection. So yeah, I'm copying the username. Then navigate to the IAM. So let me revoke. Let me go to switch to user one. I have to switch to user one in order to grant the user two the access to view my storage I just created. So going back here, I click on this. I have to click on this. So this is the new principal. It will be mainly the email address of this or the user ID of the account. So I was asked to give it new principal storage viewer, storage object viewer. So I have to copy this. Correct. So going here, select row. So I can search for storage. So I just want to give the access store I don't know, custom um cloud storage, cloud storage. I'm looking for okay, yeah. So cloud storage and storage object viewer. So if you check, we are told to give storage cloud storage viewer. So here, this initial access he has, he have a overall viewer for the whole cloud project. But now we are narrowing it down to the cloud storage, and we are giving him this cloud storage viewer. Then I have to save. Okay, save. So I've successfully saved. So you can see now the role has changed to cloud storage, cloud object viewer. So going back, so verify access. So I've switched back to the first one. Let me review if the access has granted. So you have to mind you, you have to take some few seconds to minute before you can able to do that. So you can see there's no issue of asset deny anymore. So meaning this has been successful. So to verify my access, I was told I was told to switch to user to console. Does not have project viewer role, so you can not see the project name. So here we are talking about the activation. So this is the class shell for this. Okay, this class shell is another means of accessing your cloud console. So I just want to do some basic. Okay, how to access the file here. So here I'm expect to GS copy this. So the bucket name, my bucket name, this is the bucket name, authorize. Okay. So to authorize, I have to just input this. Um, GDG underscore cloud underscore certification underscore one. So I want to list all the folder. You can see this is the folder that so it can able to access to view. And so yeah, as a uh, second users, you can have access to the view because I've set the access as a storage object viewer. So let me check if I'm able to do this. So yeah, so now we change the access from initial project viewers, we change it to only storage because we are only dealing with storage. And as I've said earlier, uh, as a cloud engineer, you are expected to give your users or any third party, maybe organization, you're expected to give them minimum access to avoid having access to all your projects. So that is all for today. And I think thank you very much. I don't know if you have any question. Thank you.
So, biggest thanks. No, I see we in chat we have questions, and if there was something, me and Kate, visit Kate answered. But from my side, please share with me these labs that, or you can share a Discord channel at the part homework so that
Okay.
everyone can finish this code lab at their convenience because it's really useful code lab to practice how you can assign role, So yes, and of course, if you get any technical issues, feel free to share with screenshots. We try to help you because sometimes code labs get technical issues. And sometimes we fix them. And of course, when you, for example, finish task and you sure that everything done, you check your progress and it's not green, just wait for a few time. Sometimes you need to check few times. It doesn't mean that you are wrong. No, it means that it takes time.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Yes, so I'll share this link at our Discord channel also. So, biggest thanks. I think that we finish our today's sessions. Biggest thanks, Sayed, for your time and Santosh for his time. Biggest thanks that you shared your experience, shared your skills, prepared this amazing presentation. So, biggest thanks for your time and let's continue in Discord channel. So, dear members, attendees, feel free to share your questions here. Let's discuss. And of course, see you the same time next week because it's just week number 2 from our 6 weeks journey. 6 weeks we should spend together. So, biggest thanks. See you next
All right.
Saturday.
All right. Bye bye, everyone.
Have a
Bye
nice
bye.
rest of weekend. Yes.
All
See
right.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.